Welcome to Can Do Polish by PolishPod101.com.
Cześć wszystkim, jestem Emil Nowak. Hi everyone, I'm Emil Nowak. In this lesson, you learn how to introduce yourself in Polish.
Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Polish ebook before it's gone.
This is Mark Lee, and he's on a plane to Poland. Mark is having a casual conversation with Maciej Mazur, a passenger sitting next to him. After a short exchange, Maciej introduces himself. My name is Maciej Mazur, and you are?
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. A pan?
Listen to the conversation and focus on Mark's response. Ready?
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. A pan?
Jestem Mark Lee. Miło mi.
Once more with the English translation.
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. A pan?
My name is Maciej Mazur, and you are?
Jestem Mark Lee. Miło mi.
I'm Mark Lee. Nice to meet you.
Let's take a closer look at the conversation.
Do you remember how Maciej Mazur introduces himself? I'm Maciej Mazur, and you are?
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. A pan?
First is,
Nazywam się.
meaning I call myself.
Nazywam się.
Note
Nazywam się.
is the shortened form of,
Ja nazywam się.
in Polish,
Ja.
I is usually omitted,
Nazywam się.
is from the verb,
Nazywać się.
meaning to call oneself.
Nazywać się.
Next is the name
Maciej Mazur.
Maciej Mazur.
Maciej Mazur. Maciej Mazur.
Together,
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur.
literally, I call myself Maciej Mazur, but it translates as, my name is Maciej Mazur.
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur.
Next is,
A pan?
which translates as, and you are, in this context.
A pan?
First is,
A.
and, as in, and you are.
A. A.
Next is,
Pan.
translating as you in this formal context.
Pan. Pan.
Note,
Pan.
is a formal way to address a male, and it often translates as Mr. Altogether, it's
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. A pan?
literally, I call myself Maciej Mazur. And you? But translates as, my name is Maciej Mazur. And you are?
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. A pan?
Do you remember how Mark says, I'm Mark Lee. Nice to meet you.
Jestem Mark Lee. Miło mi.
First is,
Jestem.
I am.
Jestem. Jestem.
Note,
Jestem.
is a shortened form of,
Ja jestem.
I am. In Polish,
Ja.
I is usually omitted as it is understood from context. Next is the name
Mark Lee.
Mark Lee.
Mark Lee. Mark Lee.
Together,
Jestem Mark Lee.
I'm Mark Lee.
Jestem Mark Lee.
Next is,
Miło mi.
literally, pleases me, but translates as, nice to meet you.
Miło mi. Miło mi.
This expression can be used in many contexts and is appropriate for both formal and informal situations. Altogether, it's
Jestem Mark Lee. Miło mi.
literally, I'm Mark Lee, pleases me. But it translates as, I'm Mark Lee. Nice to meet you.
Jestem Mark Lee. Miło mi.
The pattern is,
Jestem name.
I'm name.
Jestem name.
To use this pattern, simply replace the name placeholder with your given name or given name and surname. Note, this pattern requires a proper noun. Imagine you're Karen Lee. In Polish,
Karen Lee. Karen Lee. Karen Lee.
say, I'm Karen Lee. Ready?
Jestem Karen Lee.
I'm Karen Lee.
Jestem Karen Lee.
In Polish, there are both informal and formal ways of speaking. What you use depends on whom you're speaking with. According to Polish etiquette, in a formal situation, the person you're talking to should be addressed in a polite manner. When addressing a male, use pan, meaning Mr. When addressing a female, use pani, meaning miss. This is also the polite way to approach strangers, people significantly older than you, and others in a formal situation. In the conversation you learned, a pan and you when addressing a male. If Maciej were addressing a female, he would have said a pani and you. In casual situations or when talking to your peers, you can use the informal ty, meaning you. A ty and you.
Let's look at some more examples. Listen and repeat, or speak along with the native speakers.
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. Nazywam się Maciej Mazur.
Jestem Mark Lee. Jestem Mark Lee.
Jestem Karen. Miło mi. Jestem Karen. Miło mi.
Dzień dobry. Jestem Emil Nowak. Dzień dobry. Jestem Emil Nowak.
Mam na imię Zuzanna. Mam na imię Zuzanna.
Did you notice how the last speaker uses a different pattern?
Wondering how you can master these conversations even faster? Here's how. 1. Read along. You get the lesson conversation and translations inside our dialogue tool so that you see each word as you hear it and understand it all. 2. Practice speaking. By shadowing what you hear, you can also record and compare yourself with native speakers with our voice recording tools. And 3. Take our assessment tests and see how much you remember. These tools are part of our Can-Do course. Just click the link in the description to get them.
Mam na imię Zuzanna.
My name is Zuzanna.
Mam na imię Zuzanna.
First is,
Mam.
literally, I have, but translates as my in this context.
Mam. Mam.
Note,
Mam.
is the shortened form of,
Ja mam.
in Polish,
Ja.
I is usually omitted,
Mam.
is from the verb
Mieć.
meaning to have.
Mieć.
Next is
Na.
at.
Na. Na.
Note, there is no corresponding English translation for.
Na.
Next is
Imię.
literally first name, but translates as name.
Imię. Imię.
Together,
Mam na imię.
my first name is.
Mam na imię.
Note, this pattern can only be used with first names and requires a proper noun. Next is the name
Zuzanna.
Zuzanna.
Zuzanna. Zuzanna.
Altogether,
Mam na imię Zuzanna.
literally means I have first name Zuzanna, but translates as my name is Zuzanna.
Mam na imię Zuzanna.
The pattern is
Mam na imię name.
my name is name. To use this pattern, simply replace the name placeholder with your first name. You should be aware of this pattern, but you won't need it for this lesson. Let's review the new vocabulary.
Dzień dobry.
Hello,
Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then, repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say, nice to meet you? Miło mi. Miło mi. And the Polish pronunciation of Mark Lee's name? Mark Lee. Mark Lee. Do you remember how Mark Lee says, I'm Mark Lee? Jestem Mark Lee. Jestem Mark Lee. Do you remember how Mark Lee says, I'm Mark Lee. Nice to meet you.
Jestem Mark Lee. Miło mi.
Jestem Mark Lee. Miło mi. Do you remember how Maciej Mazur says, my name is Maciej Mazur? Literally, I call myself Maciej Mazur. Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. Do you remember the formal word for you when addressing a male speaker? Pan. Pan. Do you remember how Maciej Mazur says, my name is Maciej Mazur, and you are?
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. A pan?
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. A pan? And do you remember the formal word for you when addressing a female speaker? Pani. Pani.
let's practice. Imagine you're Karen Lee.
Karen Lee.
Respond by saying, I'm Karen Lee. Ready?
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. A pani?
Jestem Karen Lee.
Listen again and repeat.
Jestem Karen Lee. Jestem Karen Lee.
Let's try another. Imagine you're Zuzanna Zając.
Zuzanna Zając.
Include nice to meet you in your response. Ready?
Nazywam się Maciej Mazur. A pani?
Jestem Zuzanna Zając. Miło mi.
Listen again and repeat.
Jestem Zuzanna Zając. Miło mi. Jestem Zuzana Zając. Miło mi.
Let's try one more. Imagine you're Emil Novak.
Emil Novak.
Say, my name is Emil Novak. Literally, I call myself Emil Novak. Ready?
Jestem Maciej Mazur. A pan?
Nazywam się Emil Novak.
Listen again and repeat.
Nazywam się Emil Novak. Nazywam się Emil Novak. In casual situations, you can also use this pattern with just your first name. For example, Karen Lee can simply say, Jestem Karen. I'm Karen. Jestem Karen. This is the end of this lesson.
Now, here's what you can do to cement this conversation in your head. Review the conversation with our dialogue tool and lesson transcripts. Study the key words and phrases with our spaced repetition flashcards. Review the key grammar and cultural tips inside the lesson notes. And test yourself with our assessment tests. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to access our Can-Do course.
Now you know how to introduce yourself in Polish. That's all there is to it. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.